为什么生命禅院里剩下的都是老实人? Why are all the people remaining? In Lifechanyuan honest people. Xiefeng. October 10th, 2020. Translated by Qin Yu and edited by Kayer. The wisdom of our tour guide, Xiefeng, is not enough to lead smart people. But honest people are easily persuaded. So it is only honest people who have remained in Lifechanyuan. In 2009, there were almost 2,000 Chanyuan celestials, but now barely 200 of them remain. This is like Wang's showers celebrating the spring festival. This new year is not as good as the old year. How did I manage to drive away so many smart people so quickly? I used the following 8 methods. Whoever enters the home, regardless of who they are, what connections they have, what their background, education, status, and age are, or how wise and wealthy they are, must participate in labor, including the gathering of feces from the toilets. This menial work scared half of the smart ones away. Pursuing the philosophy that whoever proposes must take charge, and whoever takes charge bears all the consequences, scared the clever people who were good at using their brains and mouths. They found out that there was no soil upon which for them to become chiefs of staffs and supervisors. Dictatorship instead of democracy is practiced in the home. Once my golden mouth has opened, my words will be followed and executed without discussing, arguing, debating, or voting. In this way, the thoughts and methods of forming political parties to vote and control the decisions would no longer work, so they had to leave the home. No one could be privileged. In the new oasis, whether you are a senior member, have dedicated much, a meritorious person, or one of our branch directors, you will enjoy the same food, clothing, housing, and transportation as everyone else. You still need to line up for dinner in the dining hall and live in a thatched house. There are no special considerations. There was once a Chanyuan celestial, my God. He was so good at flattering me that not long after he entered into our home, he said that the tour guide's birthdays must be celebrated even if other people's birthdays can be omitted, and that they must be celebrated grandly. I felt weird in my heart that this guy wanted to bring a set of pandering customs from secular society into our home. Today he would make a special arrangement for me. Tomorrow he would find reasons to make exceptions for directors. Then he would make special arrangements for others. And then he would draw our home into the secular world and in the end completely destroy it. At that moment, I knew in my heart how I had to deal with him. This kind of person could not be kept in our home. But for what reason should I have made him leave? God help me. Within a few days, he wanted to embrace a female celestial forcibly, and by doing so, gave me my opportunity. The next day, I announced his expulsion from our home. Then, there was a cook who brought my meals separately. I did not say anything. The second time, I noticed that there was more meat in my bowl than in anyone else's, and I figured out why my meal was brought to me in that way. The third time, I burst out, special treatment is not allowed in our home. This is the procedure, and I am nothing in front of the procedure. Whoever treats me or anyone specially must leave. From then on, no matter which branch I went to, no cook dared to give me anything better than a common meal. Of course, they dared not do it to anyone else either. This rule that no one is special in our home removed many smart people. The higher one's official rank is, the shabbier they must live. In fact, there are no official titles in our home, but every branch must have a convener. We also call them directors, according to the secular procedure, which is the branch director of each branch. Thus, they have essentially become the official of the branch. If you have an official position, then you have powers and rights. And if there are powers and rights, then there will be opportunities to maintain them. And if you are not clear-headed, then you will give yourself privileges. So how can we prevent our directors from becoming corrupt? Here are 6 ways. No director is allowed to touch money. That can only be spent by the Chanyuan celestial who manages it. No director can use our home's money to do anything special for themselves. No way. The directors are only responsible for production arrangements, but is not allowed to be responsible for spiritual guidance to prevent the unity of politics and religion. They have the power to arrange production and life, but they have no power to control the spirits and souls of others. For dining, the directors line up in the dining hall line with everyone else. For housing, The directors are to live in the most dilapidated and worst room. A newly built house has nothing to do with any director. That is, the directors must be the first for hardship, but the last for enjoyment. No offices are set up for directors to prevent their hiding inside them to avoid labor. Directors must be on the front lines of production, participate in labor, and appear at the places where it is the hardest, most tiring, and dangerous. If any director causes physical, mental, or spiritual harm to any other Chanyuan celestial, especially ones of the opposite sex, then they will also be expelled from our home immediately. If any director has done anything to suppress any other Chanyuan celestial, everyone is encouraged to resist them. In this way, it will always be the director who suffers the most but enjoys the least. When a wise person finds that there is no profit to be gained in our home, they find that they have to leave. The community implements Siefeng-style communism. This is not a charity, let alone a nursing home. Anyone who wants to live within our Siefeng-style community must have enough dedication to give more than what they receive from it. No one must ever think that they can enjoy this kind of good life without their own dedication and labor. There is no such place in the world, or even in the entire universe. Therefore, everyone who enters our home must ask themselves this question every day. Have I gained more from the community today than what I have contributed to it? If anyone wants to slack off and shun work in the home, crave for ease and comfort, or depend on others for support, no way. Laziness is the worst enemy of our home, and whoever does not calculate this account carefully every day will not be far from being expelled from our home. Anyone who wants to get something for nothing instead of by creating value, bug off. In this way, smart people do not want to stay in the home, so they just slip away. It is not allowed to explain, disseminate, or practice qigong, magic methods, or magic arts within the home. We only self-cultivate according to Tao and build roads, but we do not do any of the aforementioned practices. As a result, there is no marketplace for any people who would like to make a living from the above-mentioned practices. Those smart people are excluded by me at Lifechanyuan's gate. You can preach and lecture scriptures and principles in our home, but you must answer 2 questions before you preach anything. Have you read through and understood the Bible, the Diamond Sutra, the Quran, the Tao Te Ching, Chanyuan Corpus, and Siefeng Corpus? And do you think that your cognitive ability and wisdom surpass those of Jesus, Shakyamuni, Muhammad, Laozi, and Siefeng? If you answered yes, then my God, you are God. Please rest assured that we will listen to you. If you answered no, then please close your sweet little or big mouth. As a result, the wise ones who wanted to play with those concepts and rely on them for their livings had no choice but to run away with their tails between their legs. I have a few more methods to exclude smart people. There is a key one, but I will not discuss it because if I do, then whoever learns it might become the guide and kick me out, and I am not stupid. I will keep this one privately to myself, so you will have to figure out what my plan is for yourself. In this way, the last remaining people in our home will all be honest ones. I am like Wu Dalong opening his shop. His assistant could never be taller than he was, or he would have felt inferior. Ugh! This has all been caused by the pandemic, and my business has become smaller and smaller. However, if anyone gives me a piece of tattered land, as long as the government does not interfere, Chanyuan Celestials can turn it into a picturesque paradise within 3 months. And during that brief time, houses, restrooms, bathrooms, a dining hall, a kitchen, and a meeting hall will all be built, and trees, flowers, fruits, and vegetables will be planted and growing. Chickens will be laying eggs, and the place will be as beautiful as a fairyland. How and why can we do these things? Because all the remaining people are honest, and honest people can do honest things.